Hello, welcome to our short series on Dāna. Dāna is a Pali word which has been translated into English as giving, generosity, gifts, and so on. Now, from the time we are born, our mothers, fathers, family, friends, teachers, even strangers have supported us again and again with food, water, medicine, shelter, advice, education, safety, and everything we needed to be who we are now, who we are today. It is thanks to the metta, goodwill, karuna, compassion of others that we have the capacity to develop ourselves, the capacity to develop skills, knowledge, good qualities, compassion, and wisdom. When we do dāna, like when we give safety to others, when we give gifts to others, when we teach the Dhamma to others, we offer support, respect, benefit for whichever being or person who receives it. And alongside that, we can grow from within ourselves metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, and happiness and skill in helping and respecting others properly. And as we start to really refine our dāna, we develop the ability to give up lower, temporary things for a greater happiness, for a deeper peace, for a truer freedom and safety for others and for ourselves. For today's talk, we will discuss three main points. First, we touch on how good kamma and dāna improve our lives. Secondly, we discuss three important categories of dāna. And finally, we discuss the ways these dānas can occur. By the end of the talk, you should be able to start noticing and contemplating the benefits of wholesome kamma, and you should be able to identify donations according to three categories, which we will be discussing, which will be helpful when you learn certain meditations and remember your good deeds. I will start the talk by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times, and I will then recite one line of Pali in the context of today's talk. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Cetanāhaṁ bhikkhave kammaṁ vadāmi. The Buddha has famously taught, it is the intention which is the karma. It is the intention which is the action. So whatever unwholesome or wholesome actions we do, it is the intention, the volition, which is the kamma or karma, action. People and animals and other beings do unwholesome actions on their search of happiness, in their pursuit of happiness. And those unwholesome minds make the mind restless and unstable. Whatever pleasure they would experience with an unwholesome mind would be by nature inferior. Whenever they do such kinds of unwholesome actions such as killing, stealing, lying, using harsh words to hurt each other, and so on, whatever actions they have done, the minds that arose passed away immediately, but the intention in those minds left behind a force we call kamma, or karma, or action. At the time of death, one of the kamma actions may get the result and give rebirth. If it was an unwholesome kamma, Akusala Kamma, then one would immediately take birth in an a woeful state, such as an animal or in hell. And whether or not an unwholesome kamma gets the opportunity to give birth, it may still bring disturbances, obstructions, suffering, even death. On the other hand, wholesome actions such as dāna, when we give dāna, giving, and when we share with others, when we abstain from doing wrong things such as lying, when we practice meditation, when we say sadhu, sadhu, good, good for others, wholesome kamma, we naturally develop a content, peaceful mind in this very life. Not only that, at the time of death, when a wholesome kamma, like those mentioned, gets the opportunity to give rebirth, one would take birth, one would be reborn as a human or in heaven. And whether or not a kamma gets the opportunity to give rebirth, it can still provide us protection and support and good conditions in certain lives. We can see this as it is taught by the Buddha in the Jāṇussoṇisutta. Even when people are born as animals due to unwholesome deeds. Now, animals normally experience a lot of suffering. Animals such as street dogs and wild animals are always living in fear. It is always difficult, it is frequently difficult to find food, to find proper food. In the search of food, animals start to kill other animals. They start to hurt other animals. And living their lives full of unwholesome actions such as killing and so on. It is very easy for those unwholesome actions to get their opportunity again and give them again rebirth as an animal or in another suffering, woeful state. However, when people do dāna, those actions, even when people are born as animals, those past donations, giving, have the capacity to provide protection and support. Some people in their past lives, some animals in their past lives have done dāna and good deeds and helped people. Some did not, and they also suffer accordingly. We can see this in some countries like America or in very rich cities, more rich cities, where we can see dogs which are eating luxurious food. The dogs are even coming with people to nice hotels and wearing nice clothes and even shoes. These dogs, they don't have to worry about much. Their lives are in some way more peaceful than a street dog. They don't have to kill other animals to get their food. Their minds are much more calm and peaceful in some ways. So it is not as easy generally for unwholesome kammas, such as for killing others, to come and take opportunity for rebirth. So it is very important that we do dāna, giving, and all kinds of good actions again and again, so we can provide ourselves the best conditions for our avoiding making more obstructions for ourselves, so that we can easily come into good conditions. And as we will be discussing in this series, with the right mindset and with the right preparation, these good kammas can be a great and effective support for us to develop our spiritual life. So we develop the capacity for greater safety and benefit for others and ourselves as we start to practice and learn about dāna. Now, in Pali, dāna has been grammatically defined as dīyati anenātīti dānaṃ. Here, dāna means it is the intention. It means the intention behind the donation. Like when someone gives some kind of gift to another, it is the intention in his mind, which is called dāna in this case. Now, although it is the intention that is the dāna here, dāna cannot truly occur without physical items to donate. Sometimes dāna has the meaning dīyatīti dāna, which means the items to offer are called dāna. So when we have foods or water or clothing or shelter, whatever items we have as a donation for someone, these are called the dāna in some cases as well. However, we should also know some items are not wholesome to offer. It would be an unwholesome donation to offer certain items. Akusaladhamma. Akusala is unwholesome. Dāna is dāna. If we offer weapons to kill someone, even as a gift, it is not a wholesome dāna. It is akusaladhamma. That is not a wholesome deed, and it is not beneficial for the recipient either, if he's going to do unwholesome actions with that, such as killing. If we offer animals to be killed and slaughtered, it is not beneficial for us. It is an akusala dāna, and of course, for the person who kills it, it is an unwholesome action as well. However, we should clearly understand this one point, where many people buy meats from stores and from restaurants, and they make donations of such foods. These people generally don't have any intention of killing an animal. They just want to buy meat. They just want to buy foods. If someone were to order from a store, please kill this cow or something like that, or if they intentionally order from the store to have a cow or animal killed for them, this is unwholesome. It is unwholesome to kill an animal. However, many people make merit, they make wholesome kamma by offering meats without having intention of killing any animal. So in that case, we cannot criticize such people. However, there's also another type of unwholesome donation. Many people think that it is offering certain things to cheer people up is wholesome. People offer intoxicants, alcohol, drugs, sexual services and toys, dancing and singing. They offer these kinds of things to cheer people up or for whatever other reason. These are unwholesome dāna. These are akusala dāna. It is not beneficial for the giver or for the receiver, actually. There is one special case for dancing and singing, though. Sometimes people do dancing and singing. This is seen in Sri Lanka. They do it as some kind of respectful action towards the Buddha, towards the Dhamma, towards the Sangha. There may be some other cases as well where it is possible for it to be a wholesome donation to do dāna, to do singing and dancing. So we will cover that in the future in this series. For now, it should be generally understood that when people give these kinds of things for the recreational entertainment purposes, such kinds of donations are unwholesome. Now, a wholesome donation can be placed into three categories. These are kusala dāna, wholesome dāna, abhaya dāna, āmisa dāna, and dhamma dāna. Abhaya dāna is when we offer safety to others. For example, we can notice this when we advise someone not to go to a certain place because it would be dangerous for them. When we offer medicines or certain things that would be helpful to protect someone from a certain disease. And we can see this in its highest form, or higher form, We can see it in a higher form when someone saves another's life, like pushing them out of a car's way, or making sure that they are well advised not to do something that would cause their death. many ways we can practice this abhaya-dāna. It is a very great merit, and it is the gift of safety. Āmisa-dāna is when we offer material gifts. These have been listed in Pali as annapāna, vatayana, mala, gandha, vilepana, seyam, avasata, padipeyam. In English, that would be food, drinks, clothing, vehicles, decorations, scents, lotions or unguents, certain unguents, furniture, dwellings, and lights, such as lighting or lamps, and so on. Dhamma-dāna is when we teach the Dhamma. When we teach the Dhamma, such as when we teach what is akusala, unwholesome, when we teach what is kusala, wholesome, when we show people the way to develop sila, samadhi, panya, and to attain enlightenment, these are examples of Dhamma-dāna. This is considered the highest of all donations. So we will discuss donations in detail to understand really the weight of Dhamma-dāna properly. Now, we've discussed 3 types of wholesome donations. Now, when something happens physically, we should try to understand when does it actually happen, or how does it actually happen. Kaya-maya-dāna is the first way. It is by body. When we use our own body to offer the items, and this is exemplified when someone directly hands food into a monk's bowl. When the second type is vachi-maya-dāna. When someone verbally instructs another person to make a donation, this is called vachi-maya-dāna. Now, we should understand one point here. Sometimes doing a donation by instructing another person can be a weaker wholesome kamma, an inferior wholesome kamma. As is mentioned in the Asappurisadānasutta, asahattā dānaṃ dīyati. When people make such kinds of donations, it is not the most superior. It can be a weaker kamma if it is done out of disinterest. Some people make such kinds of donations out of disinterest to give the donation in person. So, we should try to respectfully give donations in person. However, we should also understand some people, they make donations from overseas, as is very common nowadays. Donations from overseas, or due to certain physical conditions, or due to maybe certain work-related reasons, they may not be able to come in person at the time. In such cases, if it is given with a great full heart as a donation, we should also understand that it may be also a very superior, very good donation. It can make a lot of merit. Now, when someone gives a donation, not by body, not by speech, but only by mind, this is called Manomayadana. Manomayadana, in some ways, is not considered an actual donation. It is not a real physical donation. When someone imagines giving physical items to a living recipient in their imagination, this is Manomayadana. The Bodhisattva in the previous lives would sometimes carefully imagine giving incredible donations of food, of clothing, of buildings, medicine to Buddhas and several Pacceka Buddhas and monks. It requires good concentration actually to clearly imagine and give, really give with a whole heart. It actually becomes an extremely powerful, wholesome action. So even though it is not considered an actual physical donation, it is an extremely powerful, wholesome kamma. And if someone can properly develop it, it is a very great way to develop our good qualities and good merits. Now, there is also another type of donation related to Manomayadana in some way. It is called Addha Manomayadana. When someone has passed away and we make a donation to it, we call it Addha Manomayadana. It is a half mind-made one because the recipient is no longer around. So when people make offerings to the shrines, as they do nowadays, people make offerings of food, of water, of incense and candles to the Buddha and to great arahants of the past. People make a lot of merits, actually, when making such kinds of donations. It should be developed. It's a very great merit. And what makes this different from Manomayadana is that actually the items that we offer, the dāna, really belong to the recipient at that point, once we make the donation. In that case, we should understand that even when someone steals from one of those shrines, he's actually committing a real theft. So we should be very careful and try to develop our minds very respectfully and properly. And we should practice these types of donation to develop our mind and good qualities. And we should also understand that when we make donations to the shrines, it is a very great merit. Now, whichever way someone makes a donation, there are many kammas that can be made in the process, not just at the time of giving. When preparing a donation, there are dānaṃ kaya kamma. When someone neatly folds a napkin and then places it carefully in the bag and folds the bag nicely for the lunchbox that he will give to a homeless man. He didn't just give a homeless man food or a lunchbox. He prepared it step by step, very nicely and carefully. In fact, many dānaṃ kaya kamma occurred in that process. Many actions by body for the donation occurred. These dānaṃ kaya kammas also have a lot of power. They can produce future good results. So we should also try to understand that and recognize that whenever we do good things, how certain dānaṃ kaya kammas may occur while we are preparing certain donations or around certain donations that we do. Dānaṃ vacī kamma are when we speak in a certain way around the donation, such as when we use respectful, kind words to someone. We may say, "Excuse me, would you please let me share my food with you?" If we speak in this very kind, sweet manner, inviting them, not trying to push others down, but really trying to respect and fully make the donation as beneficial as possible for the recipient, this is a very great way to use our speech. And this can occur all around our donations, in relation to our donations. We should try to use the best speech as possible that would be the most beneficial when we're doing our donations. And what we can notice here is our preparation and our actions and mindset around our donations can actually be shaping the results of them, the future kamma results, the future rebirth, the future benefits that we have for others and ourselves. And the wishes that we make with our good kamma are actually part of that mindset. And what we will find out in this series, that these wishes that we make with our good kamma are a very great spiritual pivot point. Now, some people wish for wealth, beauty, pleasure, heaven, intelligence, and so on in their future lives. It is much better still than to be just doing donations to influence people and to look good. And there are many different reasons to make donations. As we start to learn and experience the world more through wisdom, through the eye of wisdom, as we associate with spiritual friends, as we start to listen to the Dhamma more and more, we will notice again and again, we will start to see that this world, due to its inherent natural characteristics, is full of impermanence, that it leads again and again to suffering and aging and sickness and finally death again and again. With this understanding and the prison-like nature of samsara, the beginningless round of rebirths, we understand it is suitable to wish, we naturally understand it is suitable to wish for release, for enlightenment that finally leaves this world of suffering behind. We should make powerful merits, powerful good merits, so we can make greater and greater benefits for others and for ourselves, so that we can at least show others the way to enlightenment and at least attain nibbana ourselves. The power of Dāna depends on how we prepare, what things we offer, why we offer, our intention before, during, and after. In the talks to come, we will cover these topics deeper and deeper, and you may happily find ways to refine yourself through Dāna all around you. Now, listening and giving Dhamma talks like this is a great merit. And with the merits that we have made, let us make an aspiration. Let us recite the aspiration for attaining enlightenment in Pali. Idam me punyam asavakkaya vaham hotu. Idam me punyam asavakkaya vaham hotu. Idam me punyam asavakkaya vaham hotu. Samba dukkha pamunchatu. And I think that we should also mention that there are beings who gladden their minds for others' good actions. It is a wholesome deed to be happy for others' good actions, even like when our friends do some kind of good charity and we're happy for their good action. There are also beings which gladden their minds when others are listening to the Dhamma, learning the Dhamma, practicing the Dhamma. So may we recite the sharing of merits for all beings, so that as many beings as possible may benefit, make merit, and attain their best aspirations. Mama punya bhagam sabba sattanam bhajemi te sambe me samam punya bhagam labhantu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now, we come to the end of the talk, and I would just like to mention, since this is my first time doing a series like this, I would just like to express my gratitude to my mother and father, and Sayadaw U Abhayalankara and Sayadaw U Vanita for introducing me to Buddhism and facilitating my novice monk ordination, and also for the teachers at Paut Toya Monastery, such as Most Venerable Paut Sayadaw Ji, Sayadaw Kumara Bhiwamsa, Sayadaw U Chandima, for facilitating my novice monk and higher ordination, and also teaching meditation. And also, I would like to thank the teachers at IIT and Sri Kalyani Yogashrama for their guidance in learning and developing pariyatti. Sadhu, sadhu. Take care.